There we go. Right, now we're in. So, good morning, TikTok. Hope you're all doing well. Happy Monday. Good morning, Instagram. Happy Monday. Good morning, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn right here. How are we all doing? I hope everyone's doing well. So the plan for today, next 20 minutes or so before we go off and do our group coaching with our clients, doing a little bit of live just to sort of talk about some of the problems that we're seeing in a lot of different areas, and try and give you guys a few hacks, tips and tricks to help you within what you do at the minute. So if you get any questions, whether you guys here on Instagram, whether you guys here on TikTok or YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, pop them in the chat. We should have sort of 10 minutes to go through those later. And then I'm going to be getting off because then we've got to go off and do the client stuff. So we've got our group client call, which is the Sales Accelerator program, which we do every Monday at 9:30, which is a private paid membership that we have. So I'm trying to get to the stage. Morning, Callum. Good to see you, mate. That we're turning up sort of 20 minutes beforehand just to sort of get ourselves in there in the right states. So we're going to try and do it over 5 places: TikTok, Insta, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, just because it makes life a lot easier. What are we talking about today? Well, one of the big parts for a lot of people is knowing what to be able to do differently to get new results. No one is intentionally going off and getting low results. But the problem is, for a lot of us, is the results aren't coming that you thought would come. I'm getting used to wearing glasses at the minute, by the way. So if I keep look like a bit of a weirdo, that's why. So pop questions in the chat. Pop anything in there that you're not sure about. If you're not sure about what we do over here, we've worked in 19 different industries, typically building out sales system, working directly with a business owner. And we also work directly with salespeople to help them improve their mindset, skill set, and habits. All of these lead back to more sales, more revenue, more ability to scale, better staff, everything that goes in between it. And the goal behind these lives is, as we're building out more brand, as we're getting to the stage that we're growing, being able to turn up all the time on social media, it's like having your own little TV channels. And if you're not utilizing live, it really is worth getting into because it makes a big difference. So why are we doing it now? Well, one of the big parts for a lot of people is they get stuck on almost a bit of a conveyor belt around what to say, when to say it, how to change things up, what they should be doing, and actually what's not working. Because no one's out there intentionally doing stuff wrong. We're all going out there and doing things in the best possible way that we can. And whether that's a lot of people that are in, for example, LinkedIn, maybe you guys all sat there in the B2B space and you're struggling to navigate those hurdles. Morning, everyone dropping in, by the way. Whether you guys here on Instagram and you're trying to work out how to get people out onto calls, or when they're on calls, how to actually convert them into clients. And the same with TikTok. TikTok's one of those great places where people can really blow up with their leads, but they end up in a position that might be a little bit more stable. They end up in a position that they get a huge amount of views, but they don't know how to maximize off the back of it. And one of the main parts that we're always working with people is how to convert more conversations into higher paying clients. It's so easy to overwhelm ourselves with what we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it, but actually sometimes we just need to simplify what it is we're actually doing. And then think about all this. If you know, and you're trying to sell a higher ticketed product, whether that's solar, whether that's recruitment, whether that's home improvements, whether that's coaching, whether it's transformation, whether it's a tangible product, whether it's an intangible product, the vast majority of the time, people are having conversations in the DMs, on phone, over Zoom, or face to face. And the goal is to be able to make sure that as many of those conversations that you have convert into higher paying clients. It's not just about working harder. And a huge amount of our time can be wasted by saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. So one of the goals that we've got over here is to help people go from the level they're at now to that next stage. And I'll give you a prime example of why for so many people they struggle. Let's say, for example, you're 5 out of 100 compared to your ability, and you're not getting any results. You've worked a few things out, you've overcome some hurdles, you've gone from making $2,000 a month to 10 grand a month. Because that jump was so sharp and you've suddenly made 500% more money, it's very hard for a lot of people to realize that the amount of growth that's left out there for them is huge because you've already made such a jump. But what we're not doing is looking at our potential of where we can go from now to that next stage. So people go, wow, I've gone from here to here. This is amazing. I know all this stuff. I never knew this before. But what got us to here isn't always going to get us to that next stage. Prime example for anyone who's been following my stuff on Instagram. Morning, everyone on Insta. So we posted TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, on Instagram yesterday about a conversation we had with a client in the solar space. And it's a great company. They are delivering a great service. They have great products. They are well priced. But when the paid ad comes in and they make that first conversation, they were struggling to get a high performing conversion into the face-to-face appointment. And it wasn't because they were doing anything necessarily wrong. They had gone from really low conversions initially of 1 to 2, sometimes 3 people in 10 to 5 people in 10. But actually, by improving what they were saying, by improving their system, that 5 out of 10 goes up as high as 8 to 9 out of 10 for people they get through to. So this is why you have to make sure you understand what is the potential opportunity and the potential conversions that we have inside of our business. And a lot of the time, we're comparing ourselves to the old version of us because we've came really far. And that's great. But it doesn't mean it's compared to what the potential could be in your industry. And there's some people out there in industries that are breaking barriers. Some people in industries are setting new targets and are getting to the next stage of what they're trying to do. So it's really important to work out, what are you comparing the stats that you have right now to? Are you comparing it to the top in your industry? Are you comparing it to the worst in the industry? Or are you just comparing it to what you used to be able to do? And it takes a bit of effort, but I promise you it's so worthwhile, because you might suddenly realize that you're doing okay and you're doing fine, but with a few small tweaks in the way that you have these conversations and the way your system works. Just noticed outside, I think there's a big fire that's just happened. Hopefully everyone's okay. One of the big problems for a huge amount of people out there is that they're trying to be the best they can be in the pond they're in, rather than looking on the wider scale. I'll give you a prime example with this at the moment. So we're just going from doing a huge amount of organic traffic into paid. We knew it was going to take 2 or 3 weeks to, 2 to 6 weeks to get to the stage that we're getting a huge amount of people booking for calls. And actually, overnight, we go from, literally, I think it was from Saturday, we went from loads of people downloading stuff going in to bang, 4 people will book in a one-to-one call because they've watched the video and they want help to progress. Now, if we'd have stopped on Friday, we wouldn't have had the success that we've just had. We wouldn't have had the full calendar. You wouldn't have all this sudden conversion. And those conversions came from the fact that we changed and tweaked and tuned the engine in what we were saying and when we were saying in the ads. Now, this is exactly the same as when you guys are going out and having conversations on the phone. You have to go out and have a better conversation with people. You have to be able to look at it in a way that you understand the person that you're talking to where they are right now. I always say it's a bit like knowing someone's location. You can't assume to know what they believe. You cannot assume to know what their hurdles are. A lot of people have got beliefs, fears, misconceptions in their business, in their life, that they don't even know why they have that fear. Sometimes it's from exposure from the news. Sometimes it's based on a bad experience. But we can't just tell people that they're wrong. Because although they might have the wrong perspective, it is really, really important to realize that when you are making a sale, you are looking to inspire change. You are taking people into a new product, into a new service, into a new path. So if you guys are here on TikTok, whether it's you guys on Insta, whether it's you lot on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. By the way, when people if you try and request to come up, I'm not doing most today, but thank you. You have to realize when you're making a sale, you are getting someone to make a change. And change for most people is scary. They're worried about the risk. They're worried about the judgment. They're worried about mistakes. They're worried about wasting money. They're worried about looking like a fool. We can't just expect people to just turn up and say, hey, here's my product, and the money just flows. You have to be prepared to invest that time and effort into having better conversations to either educate or understand who your prospects are, the problems that they face. And I'll be really honest with you. Most people out there, you're just looking to luck into the easiest deals that are out there. But the good news is a lot of your competition are doing exactly the same. And actually, if you understand people in a better way and you understand where they are, understand their beliefs, understand the pain points, it is far easier to help that person navigate to a new place. I'll give you a prime example. Let's say someone books in for a call with me. They're looking to make a change. Now, they might have a misunderstanding about what we do. They might have a misunderstanding of how we can help. They might have an understanding on what the budget is or what it costs, but they're looking for help. So my job isn't just about pushing everyone into my product. It's about understanding where they are right now, where they're trying to get to, and am I the best and fastest way for them to get to where they want to go? We have got 3 competitor companies that I hand business off to all the time. Because actually, that means when someone gets on a call with me, I don't have commission breath and become desperate to get that deal over the line. I'm actually happy quite a lot of the time to go, hey, listen, I don't think that I'm the right fit for what you're trying to do. Do you mind if I introduce you to someone else that actually can help you so that you can get the results based on the budget that you've got, the time frame you've got, the skills you need, or whatever it might be? And what I've done with those people is build a partnership. And anyone that goes to those people and they join and they get the results, I get a kickback. It's great. But it means I'm not desperate for the business. My goal is to have the conversations and then find out where those people are and help them on the path to get to that next stage, to get to that next possession, to get to that next point, to get rid of that pain point, to get rid of that hurdle, to get rid of that barrier. And the problem for most people is you're trying to work out what can I say to make them buy. But actually your job is a change maker. You're trying to inspire change. You're trying to help them get to where they want to be. And if you've got it, and I hate saying the whole abundance thing, but if you've got an abundance mentality that deals aren't hard to find, but there's a huge amount of people that are out there that need your product or service, it's far easier to navigate these conversations. And I really think for a huge amount of people out there, the less that we try to sell and the more we try to inspire change, the better. When I'm on a conversation with someone, I don't mind objections. I don't mind hurdles. I don't mind obstacles because it tells me where that person is in the process. And ask yourself this. When you're in a call, when you're in a conversation and someone gives you an objection, do you internally die a little bit? Do you get, oh, another person messing me about? And we have this little huff inside us. I know damn well that when someone gets on a call with me, our bigger program, Conversations to Clients, costs just under $3,000 to get started, and then there's monthly payments. I know when someone says to me, oh, whatever it might be, that's expensive, I can't afford it, I need to do this, whatever the objection is, in my head, I don't hear it and think, oh my God, oh, poor old me. In my head, I think, well, at least they're interested enough to have this conversation. If someone thinks that it's expensive, I likely haven't done a good enough job to explain it in a way that works for them. Maybe it might be the fact that they don't believe that the problem that they have is worth spending that money to get there. Another side of it might be that they don't believe that the worst case scenario working with me warrants spending that money. We've got to get better at having better conversations with our prospects. So whether you're here on, you guys on Insta, whether you guys here on TikTok, whether you guys are here on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, when you're going out this week and having conversations with people, don't just look to give them your pitch. Don't just look to say your waffle that you like to say every time and hope they fall into your lap and hope that they convert. Get into the conversation with that person and actually go out there like they were your brother, like they were your sister, and you actually wanted to help them. Really help people make a decision. Whether that's you or whether it's they work with someone else, help people make a decision either way. And I'll give you a prime example from a client 2 weeks ago with this. They get caught up on trying to sell their product or service before the person's even made a decision that this is a path they want to take. And all you're doing at that point is adding resistance to the sale, and you're adding pressure to the sale on buying your product or service. But actually, you're better off working out, even if this is a solution, even if this is a fit, even if this is something you want. So for a prime example, we do a lot of stuff in the solar space. We've done a lot in the home improvement space. We worked in the recruitment space. We've worked with coaches. Before you worry about buying my program, buying solar, paying for recruitment services, you've got to decide, do you feel that this is a fit? Do you think that solar's a fit for you before you worry about the product? Do you actually want to hire a coach before you worry about the program? You have to start helping people get to this point where they feel comfortable and confident to make a decision to move, to change, to make a shift in what they're doing. Then once they're at that stage, they've got the options of you or anyone who's in your industry. Now you can help navigate, well, are you the right fit to get them to that place? It's not get them to make a decision on your product and they'll just buy. We've got to get to the stage now where we're activating people. You've got to get to the stage where you're having no BS conversations, where people feel confident and competent to be able to be open and honest and transparent in your conversation. I'm completely fine with people saying no to me. I'm completely fine with the people that don't want to work with me personally, because I'm not for everyone. But before I worry whether you want to work with me or not, if you want to call with me, we've got to work out even if you want outside help. We need to work out if, for example, you're prepared to be coached. If you're not prepared to be coached, work with me is pointless, right? If you're selling solar and someone's not sold on the idea of solar, it's not about what your product is that matters. It's whether solar is actually a right fit for what you're trying to achieve. You've got to work it out. What am I trying to do here? Where is the person right now? And how can I inspire change? Morning, buddy. So whether you guys here on Instagram, whether you guys here on TikTok, whether you guys here on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, when you're going out there this week and you're having conversations with people, work out where they are and then go 3 levels deeper. Get in the habit of understanding what people actually mean. So many people out there, and we've all been in these situations where we hear an answer and we automatically link it to the next point. And the other person sits on that conversation feeling like they're filling out a survey. But someone's answer, they could say, I give you an answer, and someone else says the same answer. It is not the same answer because it's based on other beliefs, other myths, other fears, other concerns. We've got to get in a stage where we start understanding why people say what they say, why they believe what they believe, and then we can work out whether to inspire change with those people and help those people move forward. It is not just about your product or your service. To be frank, most people don't care about our products and services. They care about the results that are going to come from that product or service. So until they've made a decision to take that path, it's irrelevant of what your program does, what your product does, and what your service does. You need to help the people get to the stage where staying the same isn't an option for them. But this is the path they want to go on, and then they're deciding on who's going to go on that path with them. For example, if you think about coaching, if we're talking about sales training, there are a huge amount of people who are helping sales. You've got people that are more Instagram-led, but quite good at sales. You've got people that are heavy on LinkedIn, but quite good at sales. You've got people that are really good at phone sales. You've got people that are better at face-to-face sales. You've got people who are better at stage talking sales. So if you were going to learn sales training, you're going to learn sales skills. What are you selling? There's some people that are great at B2B. Some people are good at B2C. Some people are good at low ticket and high ticket. And some people have transferable skills. But before you worry about any of that stuff, you've got to work out, am I coachable? Do I want help? Do I want to move forward? Do I want to get new results? So important to work this out. We've got to get in the stage that you have that conversation. It is no one wants to just feel like they're on the factory, the sort of conveyor belt of just getting pushed through emotion. We're going to be at the stage soon with all the AI and all the automations that people are sick to death of it and they want great conversations. They want to talk to a real person. You've got to go through all of this conversation with people and understand where they are right now and where they're trying to get to. Right, we've only got a couple of minutes. We're going to wrap up. If anyone's got a question, pop it in the chat and I'll have a quick look and go through because I've got 15 minutes to do the client meet. Sure, saw a couple of questions. Give me a second. So hard just scrolling through all this stuff. Confidence, products, blah, blah, blah. Sales is a numbers game, especially in this now. So sales to a degree, yes, there is a part of certain sales roles that is a numbers game, but it's also very much a skills game. You've got to have a good combination between the two. You've got to work hard, but you also need to go off and be able to convert the highest level of conversations that you can have. Maybe I think I'm struggling to go through them. Wearing these new glasses. What are good questions to ask to learn their problems? Again, so this is when we're in these conversations. This is what's really important. And it's a great question to ask. When you're at the stage now, you're working out what question to ask. You need to understand, who are you talking to? Where are they right now? What is their awareness of you? I'll give you a prime example. Let's say someone's been following my content, watched me on live every week for a year. You follow my content every week for a year. You have a higher level of trust and faith that me, I can help because you've experienced a lot with me. If you've just seen a paid ad and you don't know anything about me, your belief that I can help is very different. So you've got to initially understand, where are those people and how much do they know about you and what you do, whether you're a slam dunk. Some people just walk into Apple and buy an Apple iPhone because they have love for Apple. It doesn't necessarily matter. So you've got to work out who you're talking to and when you're going. Oh, it's just gone nuts again. How to feel like I don't rush them through my cold calls after gaining permission to engage. Okay, so again, a lot of people are getting caught up with pitches on how do I get my pitch done. Have straight conversation. It's a back and forth. When you're at the stage that's out there, if you've got a permission to have a conversation with people, ask great questions that's going to inspire the person to talk, then go down the rabbit hole 3 levels deeper with what they've actually said to move through to that next stage. Right, I need to go. I've literally got 1 minute. So, TikTok, good to see you. Anyone needs anything, drop me a DM. We've got some free trainings. See you later. Instagram, see you later. And then YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Thanks for tuning in. I never know how many people are on here because StreamYard is a bit weird sometimes. Go and have a good week. Talk to you later.